Welcome back, folks, to another review with Sam Healey, myself. And today I wanted to talk about this game called Dice Town that I've been playing for quite some time now, at least 6 years. So, what has given it such longevity, you might ask? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, when you open up the box of Dice Town, you'll find, look at that, a rule book. And it is a very colorful rule book. Has a lot of good illustrations on it, and it does have somewhat of a wall of text there on the bottom, but it is all very well explained and very easy to understand. So there you have that. And then you have the board on which the game is played for the most part, starting from the gold mine, bank, general store, saloon, sheriff, town hall. This is where the properties will be placed, and then Doc Bad Luck there at the end. Then you have the dice cups. It's actually a very sturdy plastic that you're going to be rolling the dice in. You actually have the dice themselves, beautifully engraved. I'll take a look at them later. The general store, the sheriff card, a number of different things here, different gold nuggets, and the money that come in that as well. Good components overall. Let's take a look at gameplay. Okay, so here I have set up for you a two-player version of a game of Dice Town, and basically to set up the game, you simply take all of the gold nuggets and place them in the gold mine area. You take $3 and place it in the bank right up here. You shuffle all of the general store cards, put them above the general store. You shuffle all of the property cards, deal 3 property cards out here to the respective areas, then put the rest here on top of the town hall. Then each person is given $8, 5 dice, and 1 dice cup to begin the game. And then the person who is the oldest player receives the sheriff badge. The sheriff badge is worth 5 points at the end of the game. And during the game, it gives you the opportunity to break ties, even if that tie break would be in your favor as the sheriff. That's quite all right, no problem at all. A round consists of each of the players simultaneously rolling their dice in their cup. Okay, so everybody would roll once, and then normally you would keep them hidden, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to show what mine are to begin with. And when you roll the dice, you have to keep at least 1, and you can do so for free. So if I wanted to keep my king, no problems. I could keep that king for no extra. But let's say I didn't want to keep the king, I want to keep those 2 9s. Any deviation from 1 die kept costs you an extra $1 upon each level of deviation. So if I wanted to keep these 2 dice, I would have to pay $1. If I wanted to keep none of the dice, I wasn't happy with the roll at all, since that is still a deviation from 1, I would still have to pay $1. So I want to keep these 2 9s. I pay my $1 down here to the stagecoach. The stagecoach is going to deliver money to the bank every turn. So all the money that's used to pay for keeping dice goes to the stagecoach. And then after this is taken, it moves up to the bank. So I have my 2 that I paid $1 for. And then everybody would roll again. All right, again, I'm keeping this open for the purpose of the video, and I think I like that ace, so I'm going to keep it. It's free, don't have to pay anything because I'm only keeping 1 die this turn. So now I take my dice, we all roll again, and there's another one. I'm going to keep that, that's for free, and roll again, and that doesn't do me a whole lot of good, but it might do some good. We'll see. Now that everybody has finished rolling, we'll just say that this person rolled these dice on their turn. That's a pretty good hand, kings over jacks. We would start over here with the gold mine and work our way to the right. So at the gold mine, whoever rolled the most 9s gets to take that many gold nuggets from the store. So we look at the dice that were rolled. I rolled 2 9s, which is the most. I then could take 2 gold nuggets from the gold mine, and these are worth points at the end of the game. All right, so these have been resolved. Now we move to the bank. The bank is whoever rolled the most tens gets to rob the bank, so to speak. Well, I only rolled 1 10, but that was the most. So I would be able to take the money from the bank and place it here. All right, now that that's been resolved, any money that's down here in the stagecoach would move up to the bank. Then we come to the general store. Whoever rolled the most jacks gets to take that many cards from the general store and choose one. So I didn't roll any jacks. This person rolled 2. So they would be able to take 2 cards from the general store, look at them, and keep 1. Now, the cards from the general store are pretty self-explanatory. Usually up in the top of the card, it tells you when you can play the card, and then on the bottom of the card, it tells you the effect that that card has. All right, so if we look at the dynamite here, it says play this card when you exploit the gold mine. So when you get gold from the gold mine, you can play this card and you find twice as many nuggets as you would normally. So when I got my 2 gold nuggets from the gold mine, if I had this in my hand, I could play it and say, no, I'm not getting 2, I'm getting 4. All right, so that's what this card does. This card here says play this card whenever an opponent holds up the bank. And then down here, the effect, the player who holds up the bank must give you half of the sum stolen, rounded down. Okay, so if somebody had played that on me when there was only $3 in it, I would have to half it and then round down. So they would have gotten $1 out of the 3, okay, if they played that card. All right, and the general store has all kinds of different cards like this. Some of them are cards that are just straight up points. For example, this card is worth 1 point at the end of the game. This card is worth 4 points at the end of the game if you have it. So there's a number of different cards. They're all pretty self-explanatory. So let's just say I take one of those cards and I add it here to my hand. Then we move on to the saloon. Whoever rolled the most queens gets to steal that number of cards, or rather look at that number of cards from a player's hand. Now, a player's hand will consist of any general store cards and any property cards that he has won and not yet protected. Okay, so, but since nobody rolled any queens, the saloon doesn't actually happen. So we move on to the sheriff. Whoever rolled the most kings, which is this person right here, gets to take the sheriff card and place it in front of them. Now, they are the ones that are going to be choosing the winner of ties and so forth and so on. Then we look at the town hall. The town hall, whoever has the highest poker hand represented by their dice gets to take the bottommost property. But if they have the highest hand and they also have aces, then they also get to take additional cards for every ace that they have. So let's say, for example, let's say that this guy was not a jack, it was an ace. He has the highest hand still because 3 of a kind beat 2 pair. And if you ever have an idea where you can't remember, you can look on this card here. This is the lowest hand, this is the highest hand. All right, so that's that. So 3 of a kind beat 2 pair. So I would definitely get to take this lower card for having the highest hand. But because I also had an ace, I would also get to take another one. Then this one comes down and these fill up. All right, then we would look over here at Doc Bad Luck. If anybody was not able to win any of these other locations, they would be able to go to Doc Bad Luck. And so if you have a 9 or a 10, you are able to protect one of your properties. Like I said earlier, properties, until they are protected, become part of your hand. Okay? So you can protect properties with a 9 or a 10 with Doc Bad Luck. With a jack or a queen, you're able to take a general store card It's just the top one. You don't get a choice. If you roll a king, you can you can force everybody give you $2. If they have the $2, they have to give it to you. And if you rolled an ace and you didn't win anything else, you can ask everyone to give you 1 gold nugget. And of course, if they don't have it, they can't give it to you. But if they do have it, they must. So that's Doc Bad Luck. And that's the thing I really like about this, because it allows you to get something even if you know the dice kind of hosed you over here. You weren't able to win any of these locations. You can still squeak out something that might help you later on. So the game would continue in that fashion. At the end of the round, players would take all of their dice and put it back in there and start over rolling in the same fashion as I showed you earlier. And then the game would end when there are no more gold nuggets in the gold mine, or when all of the property cards have found homes, so to speak, when there are no more property cards left, or when there are no more gold nuggets in the gold mine, the game would end. At that point, you would add up property cards, cash, $2 for 1 point, and gold nuggets. Whoever has the most points wins. So that's how you play Dice Town. This is actually one of my favorite games to play. I don't play it that often, but when I do play it, I usually enjoy it. It does have that unexplainable luck factor that comes along with rolling dice sometimes. You know, people just magically, it seems, rolls exactly what they need at the exact moment in time. So there is that. It does have a wild, swingy luck factor to it that I think can be grating on some people, but for the most part, it's fun, it's light, and it's enjoyable. It has a phonetic appeal. The clickety-clack of the dice and the cups, that really draws people in as well. The artwork is incredible. Piero is one of my favorite artists as far as games are concerned, and he did a phenomenal job making the all of the different property cards pop, and the board that you're playing things on is very enjoyable to look at as well. It just provides a nice backdrop to the game, and so kudos to Piero for doing that. Also, I love the cards that you would get from the general store. I like how you can kind of have those moments at the end of the game where, aha, you thought this or that, and I can now do this because of my card. Those are all really neat things that you can do in the game. The Doc Bad Luck at the end of the board where you get something if you didn't get anything else on the board. I think that's a positive nature of the game. Some people didn't like that. And the dice are very well done. They're all engraved, and I really enjoy that because they're just not going to wear out like other ones do. So Dice Town by Ludovic Montblanc and Bruno Catala get 2 huge 6-shooters up from Sam Healey. See you on the flip side, folks.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.